Hello, today we will be solving a system of equations using substitution. So it asks you to solve this given system using substitution, okay? So let's go full screen here. So we have two equations, okay? Now, when you are solving for substitution, what you really want to do is you want to get one of the variables by itself in either equation, and it doesn't matter what variable it is. It could be either x or y. So for example, you could take this top equation and solve it for x or y here, or you could take the bottom equation and do the same thing. Now, what I recommend is that you solve for the variable that does not have a coefficient already. And the reason why is because that's going to save you some steps later on. Namely, it will not require you to do a division as a last step. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take the top equation and solve it for x. All right, so let's go over here. We have x minus 4y equals negative 12. Okay, so to get x by itself, we need to move the negative 4y over to the other side. So we need to do the opposite operation in order to do that. So it's currently subtraction, so the opposite operation is addition. Okay, so we're going to add 4y to both sides. Okay, so those will cancel out. And now what we'll have left is x on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you're going to have negative 12 plus 4y. And we have to write both of those because those are not like terms, okay? So notice now we have x by itself, okay? So what we can do here is we can say that x equals all of this stuff. So that means you can put all of this in for x into the other equation that you did not use yet, right here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to write the second equation now. Let's go down here. So write the equation just like you normally would, only instead of x, let's put a rather large set of parentheses there. And then continue to write the rest of the equation so that way you don't forget any part of the equation, including the signs. Okay? Now, in the parentheses here is going to be what x equals. Let's see. So we noticed that x equaled negative 12 plus 4y from the previous equation, so we will just plug that in here. So that's going to be negative 12 plus 4y, okay? All right, so now what we need to do is we need to, well, first of all, we need to notice here that you have an equation with just one variable instead of two. That's good news. That means you can eventually combine like terms, get y by itself, and actually get a number for y, okay? And that'll be a good thing. So that way that'll help us solve the system, okay? So from here, what we can do is distribute the 3 because our variable is currently in parentheses. That's bad news. So we need to get it out of parentheses. In order to do that, we need to distribute the 3, okay? So 3 times negative 12 is negative 36, and don't be afraid to use your calculator, okay? And then 3 times 4y is going to be plus 12y. And then the rest stays the same. Plus 2y equals negative 8, okay? Now notice here we can combine like terms, okay? So we have, let's use a different color. So we have 12y and 2y. So now we have negative 36, and then 12y and 2y, that's going to be a total of 14y, okay? And then that equals negative 8, okay? So we still want to continue to work on getting y by itself, okay? So in order to get y by itself, we first need to get the y term by itself. So we can't move that 14 yet because we still have another term that's in the way there, okay? So we need to get rid of this negative 36. So in order to do that, we need to add 36 because the opposite of subtraction, like we talked about before, is addition. And negative is technically subtraction, okay? So we're going to add 36 to both sides. Now notice these are going to be like terms, so we can add those together, okay? So those cancel, and then we're going to be left with 14y equals, and then you have negative 8 plus 36. So again, you can do that in your calculator, or you can do it longhand. If you have issues with negatives and positives, you can just write the positive number first if you'd like. So let's go to the side here. Negative 8 plus 36. Another way you can write this is 36 minus 8. Notice that the positive goes with 36, and we no longer need the positive here because it's written first, and then the negative goes with 8. See? So now notice that you have 36 minus 8. It might be a little bit easier for you to look at it that way. You don't have to do that. It's just an option for you. Okay. So either way, okay, you're going to get 28. Okay. And you can always check your work. You can say 28 plus 8 gives you 36. Okay. So either way, we're going to have 28 here. Okay. Now, the final step to get y by itself is we need to get rid of that 14. We can get rid of that 14 now because the term is by itself. Okay. So we divide both sides by 14. Okay. And then y equals, again, use your calculator if you need to. That's going to be 2. Nice friendly number. Okay. Now, remember, we're not done because the question says find the solution to the system. Now, a solution to the system means that you need to have a value for all of your variables involved, okay? So we have an x and a y in our system. Now, we have a value for y, but we still need to figure out what x is, all right? So now the good news is we can use any equation we want to find out what x is going to be. So you can plug y equals 2 into the first one. You can plug in y equals 2 into the second one, or you could even plug it in here because all of those are true for this problem. You can plug it in wherever you want to because the reason why is because you're going to get the same answer. Okay. So let's go ahead and plug it in here. It looks like that might be easier. Okay. So we have, let's do this. So x equals negative 12 plus 4. And then parentheses again, and then what goes in that parentheses is what y equals. So y equals 2. Plug that in. All right. So we just need to simplify here. So then x equals negative 12 plus 8. Okay. Again, negative and positive. Okay. So what you can do, you can look at this as a positive 8 minus 12 if you want to, and you can get rid of that plus sign just like we did over here with 36. So it's 8 minus 12. Either way, that should give you a negative 4. Okay. So x is going to equal negative 4. Now, how do we write solutions to our system? Okay. Typically, what you would do is you would want to write your solution as an ordered pair. Okay. So an ordered pair is always going to be x comma y. All right. So in this case, we have negative 4 for x, and we have 2 for y, and that is your solution. And smiley face, that's the most important part of your work, so make sure you write that down, okay? And that's it. So that's how you solve a solution, a system of equations and with using substitution, and that is your solution.